In the heart of West Africa, in a land known more for its resilience than its wealth, a project has begun to redefine not only the way people travel, but also the way the nation sees its own future. Burkina Faso, under the leadership of Captain Ibrahim Traoré, has stunned the world with the unveiling of Africa's first glass roads. This audacious undertaking, blending cutting-edge technology with bold political vision, represents far more than an infrastructural upgrade. It is a statement to the world that Africa is no longer content to be a follower in global innovation, but is prepared to lead. The concept of glass roads is one that many around the globe once dismissed as futuristic fantasy. Developed in experimental phases in parts of Asia and Europe, it involves creating durable roads made from reinforced, high-strength tempered glass panels integrated with solar technology, sensors, and eco-friendly drainage systems. These roads are not only stronger than asphalt, but also generate clean energy, provide real-time traffic data, and resist the heat stress that so often plagues conventional infrastructure in arid climates. For Burkina Faso to take the leap into this arena signals a radical shift, both in ambition and in execution, for a country long thought to be limited by economic hardship. When Traoré announced the project, many observers doubted whether such a vision could ever be realized in one of the world's most impoverished nations. Yet, the rollout of the first kilometers of shimmering glass roadway in Ouagadougou silenced skeptics. Videos of Burkinabe children running their hands across the glowing surface, watching the panels light up under the sun, quickly spread across social media, symbolizing not just technological achievement but hope. What sets this apart is not merely the engineering marvel, but the political symbolism embedded within it. In a continent too often saddled with imported ideas and foreign dictates, here was a project conceived, designed, and implemented under African leadership. The boldness of this project is a reflection of Traoré's broader vision for his country and for Africa. Since seizing leadership in 2022, he has sought to position Burkina Faso not as a passive recipient of Western aid, but as an active driver of innovation and self-reliance. The glass roads embody that philosophy. They are intended not just to modernize transport, but to demonstrate that Burkina Faso can leapfrog traditional development pathways. Where others build outdated systems, Traoré has chosen to pioneer the infrastructure of the future. The technical foundations of the glass roads are worth considering carefully. These are not fragile panes one might imagine shattering under the weight of vehicles. Each panel is built of multiple layers with hardened tempered glass on the surface, supported by load-bearing composites beneath, capable of sustaining trucks and heavy machinery. Embedded within are solar cells that generate electricity as cars and buses pass overhead, providing power not only for streetlights but also for nearby homes, schools, and hospitals. Some sections are wired with sensors that detect road conditions, allowing authorities to identify wear, tear, or damage instantly. In a country where traditional road maintenance is both costly and logistically challenging, this innovation promises to save millions over time. Beyond the technical marvel, the economic implications are vast. Burkina Faso spends much of its limited budget on fuel imports and road repairs. By shifting to solar glass infrastructure, the nation not only reduces costs, but also transforms roadways into revenue-generating assets. Every kilometer produces electricity, feeding into a growing decentralized grid that is less dependent on foreign suppliers. This aligns neatly with Traoré's wider strategy to break free from dependency on the West and to integrate more deeply with regional partners in Africa's Sahel zone. There is also a social dimension. For the average Burkinabe, roads are not just pathways. They are lifelines. Farmers need them to bring crops to markets, families rely on them for access to schools and clinics, and traders use them to connect with neighboring regions. Traditional asphalt roads in Burkina Faso often deteriorate quickly under harsh weather conditions, with the rainy season rendering many impassable. The glass roads, by contrast, are designed to withstand both torrential downpours and searing heat, offering continuity where before there was interruption. That reliability translates into lives saved, income sustained, and opportunities expanded. Of course, no project of this scale is without challenges or critics. Some argue that the cost of installing glass roads, especially in a country still grappling with poverty and security threats, is an extravagance. Others question whether Burkina Faso has the technical expertise to maintain such advanced infrastructure over the long term. Traore's government has responded by emphasizing partnerships with African engineers, universities, and local firms, rather than outsourcing entirely to foreign contractors. In doing so, the project doubles as a capacity-building initiative, training a new generation of Burkinabe engineers in frontier technologies. For every kilometer of glass laid, there are also classrooms filled with students learning how to replicate, maintain, and expand the system. The symbolism of glass roads in Africa cannot be overstated. Roads are often taken as metaphors for progress and connectivity, and to make them literally shine under the African sun is to send a clear message. The continent need not be synonymous with scarcity, but with innovation. The glow of these roads reflects a continent refusing to remain in the shadows. Burkina Faso, a country often overlooked in global discussions, has forced its way into the spotlight with a project that richer nations have yet to implement at scale. The geopolitical implications are significant. Traoré's move has attracted attention from China, which has long experimented with similar projects but has not yet achieved widespread rollout. Beijing views Burkina Faso's leap as both a challenge and an opportunity for collaboration. European powers, particularly France, have been caught off guard. For decades, France positioned itself as the primary driver of infrastructure development in its former colonies, often funding road construction as a means of influence. Now, Burkina Faso has demonstrated it can achieve something extraordinary without European oversight, challenging the very narrative of dependency. Washington, too, has taken note. The United States, which has touted itself as a leader in green technology, is now confronted with the reality that an African nation has surpassed it in real-world deployment of futuristic infrastructure. The symbolism of Africa leading in sustainability rather than following Western agendas cannot be ignored. It forces a reevaluation of how innovation is defined and where its center of gravity lies. For the people of Burkina Faso, however, the political gamesmanship of superpowers matters less than the tangible benefits. In rural villages, where electricity access is limited, the glow from glass road networks is more than symbolic. It lights homes, powers clinics, and fuels businesses. Traders arriving at night can now travel safely, farmers transporting perishable goods can move quickly, and school children can study under reliable light, powered by the very roads they walk on. In this way, infrastructure becomes not just a backdrop to development, but an active driver of it. As more kilometers are laid, Traoré has framed the project as part of a continental mission. He has spoken of linking Burkina Faso's glass roads with broader West African networks, creating energy corridors that double as transportation routes. Imagine a future where a road from Ouagadougou to Bamako not only connects two capitals but also powers villages along the way, transmits data across borders, and reduces carbon emissions simultaneously. This vision is not utopian. It is emerging before the world's eyes, with Burkina Faso as its starting point. Skeptics will continue to raise questions. Will these roads survive decades of heavy use? Will they remain cost-effective in the long term? And will other African nations be able to adopt the model without external financial traps? These are valid concerns, but what cannot be denied is that a precedent has been set. Burkina Faso has broken the mold of what is expected from a so-called poor country. Instead of begging for outdated technologies, it has embraced a solution that even wealthy nations have hesitated to attempt. In many ways, this project embodies a philosophical shift that is spreading across Africa. Leaders like Traoré are less interested in asking permission from the global powers and more determined to chart their own course. The glass roads are physical manifestations of that spirit, a willingness to experiment, to risk, and to create. They shine not just because of the sun above them, but because of the hope and defiance embedded within them. In the years ahead, whether the glass roads endure as a long-term solution or serve primarily as a bold experiment, they will be remembered as a turning point. They have already altered perceptions of what is possible in Africa. They have forced the world to recognize that innovation is not monopolized by Silicon Valley or European capitals, but can emerge brilliantly from Ouagadougou. And they have given the people of Burkina Faso a tangible glimpse of a future that is brighter, stronger, and more self-determined than ever before. The story of Africa's first glass roads is therefore not just about technology. It is about sovereignty, courage, and vision. It is about a leader who dared to imagine more and a people who dared to believe in that vision. Long after the first panels were laid and the first lights glowed, the memory of that moment will endure as a testament to Africa's capacity to surprise the world, to lead it, and to shine its own path forward.